day 3, day 4, but day 2 of actual work stuff. Day 4 of Michigan, and we are on the road this morning to get the day started. We got an hour-long drive to our first inspection, but the rest of the day is going to be spent in the same area, so I don't got to worry about traveling here and there too much and going out of my way. So that's a plus. Hoping today goes like yesterday, and I'm gonna get a good set of claims that I'll be able to work on and quickly turn and burn, so that I could rest for the rest of the day and do what I want. So I'm looking forward today. I'm looking forward to knocking these claims down and being able to hopefully get more work. I don't know how that'll look. It's the earliest that I've ever seen in the season to get an opportunity for work so far since I've been doing this, and maybe I'll get the chance to get some more work or not. Either way, doesn't bother me. I think I might stop and see some friends down in Ohio whenever I finish with the work, and spend some time, I don't know, maybe just a day or something like that. Not even, maybe. And chill out with them for a bit. Take some R&R. Just relax for a bit. Hoping it'll be a good day. Got some things that I could listen to throughout the day. And if not, I just put on some music. I just put on all kinds of music. I put on some Pink Panthers. Put on some Lil Wayne. He has a song over the beat of Rolling in the Deep by Adele, and it's really good. I was playing Shuffle Play yesterday, and it just came out of nowhere, and I was like, what? I was waiting for Adele just to show up in the middle of the song and just, rolling in the deep. But no, it was just him all the way, and it was good. It was a good song. It's called Sorry for the Wait. I grew up listening to him. So there's a lot of nostalgia with that, listening to him. I'm excited that I'm working again. That's all I gotta say. And it's consistent, and I don't have to worry about rent for the next couple of months. Well, not rent, my mortgage payment. I don't have to worry about my mortgage. I had a mortgage. I'm a full-fledged adult now. I got a mortgage. I don't have to worry about my mortgage payment for the next couple months after this, because that's covered. So that's nice. That's weight off my shoulders. conspired. I think the word is conspired for the day. Nothing else has happened in the day thus far. So I'll check in when some more things happen. Just thought I'd make a video as I stopped at this place because I thought it was pretty cool. I was told to go here by some people back home in Florida, and by actually someone I just met. And man, it is really nice. I mean, it's a rainy day, so you know, some people might think it's a pretty shitty day to do something like this, but I don't know, man, it's still really cool. So I just wanted to get the chance to take a look at it, and I don't know, I'm not able to turn my camera around, but I'll just show it to you as I'm walking down this pier. I feel like I'm in the Great Gatsby right now, and I'm about to get to the end of this pier and see that green shining light. But man, this is beautiful. I mean, even in the rain, this water looks so nice. It's so still. Yeah, just wanted to show you that, get a record of that while I was out here. I don't know, maybe I'll get another shot once I finally get to the end of the pier. It is raining, and I don't know, the camera might get a little wet. You might see a little bit of raindrops on the camera, but I don't really care. It's worth it. Worth it to see this awesome view. So I'm gonna be arriving here right at the end of the pier in just a moment. I'm just gonna flash the camera out real quick and show you the view. Look at that. Imagine living on this coast, man. That's beautiful. That's just beautiful. That's all. All right, we are on to the last inspection of the day, and the day has gone by pretty quick. I woke up pretty late again, but luckily I put windows of time in between my inspections, so I don't have to, it's not that bad. I'm not like late or anything, and you know, people are usually understanding anyways. I've got a long drive from place to place, so I have to sometimes I run a little bit late, a little bit after schedule, but most people are nice and understand that you can't always make it on time, so things work out. But I mean, things work out really well. I just made it to my last inspection right on the dot, and I am going to make it to my next one just before I need to be there. So things worked out just fine. Looking forward to the end of the day. No, I look forward to the start of the day, the end of the day. I don't even care. The days go by and into the next. So it's all just a good time. But man, I mean, you're gonna see in the other video that I just recorded while I made a stop before going to my next inspection, that beautiful view I had. But I mean, I've just been on the shoreline this whole time that I've been working, and it's just beautiful view after beautiful view. I'm standing on top of these roofs, and I'm just getting such nice shots with my camera. So those will be probably thumbnail pictures and stuff like that, but yeah, it's just beautiful stuff. Let it soak in the nice atmosphere. and chug along to the next house. I don't have to worry about moving my RV anymore. Although one thing did happen. I plugged it into got moved into a spot with water. I plugged it into the water, and the water is not working. At least not in my RV. So I think it's probably my RV that's the problem. And so I don't know how I'm gonna fix that. I really don't want to take it into a shop because, dude, they like charge. It's like $165 an hour. Who makes $165 an hour working on RVs? Like, you're a mechanic, dude. And I'm not knocking mechanics. That is a really cool job to have. I mean, and knowing how to fix a car in and out, I wish I could do something like that, but I'm just a little too retarded. Dude, there's all these like nice, not to interrupt my point that I was just making, but there are a lot of like home style small town diners that I drive past, and it's like those are enticing to go to. I just want to, like, that's one of the things that I like about traveling is I get to try different food. Man, I love food. But I digress. Moving forward, we tread on with the point that I was making before I so rudely interrupted myself. Which was, the RV people charge you crazy cash for work. I might just do a DIY and figure it out myself and become, jack of all trades, but a master of none. And, figure it out by myself. I've been listening to some good music, mostly music today, not really any podcasts. Not really any podcasts today. I'll have time for that while I'm writing stuff up, and I'll look forward to seeing what comes out today. What is today, Friday? I don't know. I don't keep up on people's schedules, on podcaster schedules, so I don't really, whatever just pops up on my feed. Like yesterday, I watched the Afro Man trial, and hey, it was entertaining. I don't know what it's going to contribute to my life moving forward, but I had a good time watching it. So that's a plus. Yeah, this one that I'm going to right now is the last one for the day. Really nice guy talking on the phone. He's a truck driver, so we had to work around his schedule, but he said originally it was supposed to be for tomorrow, but he said that he could make it today, and that was a pleasant surprise because this is right on the way back home from where I was coming from. So that worked out well, and I'm hoping I can just knock it out real quick like I've been able to do these other ones. And I'm hoping it's not that steep of a roof, because the second to last one that I did was pretty steep, and the guy was like, "Why are you getting on my house?" And I'm like, "Bro, they need us to look at the house and the garage." He's like, "It's just the garage that's damaged." And I'm like, "No, man, they want us to look at the house and the garage to make sure that you're covered, that all bases are covered." But, I was able to take a look at the house. Steep, an old roof, and it was sort of wet. Like, when it drizzles, it's not that bad to climb up on a roof, but if you've got like a old roof with a lot of granule loss and it's wet, yeah, that's kind of a risk. I don't know if I need to buy more storage or something, man, but this phone keeps screwing me over with saying I have too much storage. I'm deleting pictures like from years ago, I'm doing all this stuff and this phone is just not working with me. But anyways, I don't remember what I was talking about, so I will rehash a little bit of what I was saying, hoping that my mind will remember. I'm going to this last one. This guy, he's a truck driver. I'm able to go there and it's on my way back home. The last house that I inspected was a lot of granule loss. I think I covered that already. It's not fun. It's like a pretty slippery, scary situation, but I've been on plenty of roofs, so I kind of know, as long as you're going up in the valley, you know, in the valley, you don't really have to worry about falling off of a roof or anything like that. But if you're like, you can't be Spider-Man, you're not Spider-Man. You can't, you know, just stand on a steep pitched roof like that and expect to be grippy on it. So yeah, sometimes roofs are easy to walk on, sometimes they are, you know, a bit tougher. Or sometimes you get like a really cool giant roof and it's like you're on a playground. You feel like you're on top of the world. So there's a little rush that comes with that. It's kind of makes the job more interesting. So I enjoy it. I don't have anything really heavy weighing me down. I don't really have to worry about falling off because I am safe. I am a safe person. I do my job safely. And I don't really have it, so I don't really have anything to worry about. I'm really, like, I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm actually really enjoying my time here in Michigan. Like, this is nothing like I expected. I thought I was going to be in, like, the ghetto, the boondocks, you know, at least I'm not in, like, Flint, Michigan or anything like that. I haven't even gone anywhere near Dearborn, Michigan, which is kind of crazy. You know, people talk about that place a lot. Yeah, it's been a good time. Just chilling out. Got my new glasses. New glasses came in, blue light glasses, so I could just stare at my computer screen for eternity and not have to worry about my eyes being strained. I'm just taking everything as it goes by, relaxing, vibing. Listening to Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. Yeah, headed off to the last one of the day. Then it's back to the camper, riding stuff up, and ending off the day. Don't know what I'm gonna do at the end of the day, but that's kind of the fun of it. You just figure it out when you get there. These monster cans just keep getting bigger. Soon they're just gonna be selling barrels of them. My brother made that joke because I sent a picture of this to him saying these just keep getting bigger, keep growing. They even had a wrapper, they have a wrapper around the cap to contain the beast within. And when you open it, it's like, I opened it and there was like this ethereal smoke that came out. You know it's gonna be good when something like that happens. I don't really have much else to say, so I'll just leave this point of the journey at that. All right, boys, the day is over. At least inspection-wise, the day is over. And we are on the road home to write these claims up and do some revisions. Dude, this guy, I don't know who he is. I know his name. I'm not going to say his name. But he's requesting that I revise my estimates from yesterday. Like, what are you doing, bro? Leave me alone. We are done. The last inspection was a success. It was a really nice family. Really nice people. They're actually Christians, so I was actually able to have a really good conversation with them. The guy owns a trucking company, and he donates stuff to orphans so they can go to school. And he does this all across the world. And he was telling me how he was just in Poland, and made me really want to go back to Poland. But I've got a pending lawsuit in Poland at the moment, wherein I do not know if I could go there without being arrested or something like that. I don't know. Some random person that, like, I don't think anyone in our family knew about, who was related to us, had a apartment or condo that they owned. A condo. You can't own an apartment. Had an apartment that they owned. Well, you could own an apartment, but like living in an apartment, not owning an apartment. Well, you could own and live in an apartment, but you know what I mean. They had a condo that they left as an inheritance that is split between me, my uncle, my aunt, my brother, and I think that's it. And this random guy who she wasn't even married to wants to own the freaking thing. And it's like, why do you have the right to own this and take us to court if you aren't even part of the family? You don't even have, you don't even share our DNA. Why do you get to fight for this? You know? I don't know. But I'm hoping I'd be able to go back to Poland. Anyways, I digress. We are wrapping back around to the actual topic at hand. They were a really nice family. Beautiful house. Romanian people. And they kept me for a long time to talk to me, but I didn't mind because it was the last inspection and I had time to spare. And I actually enjoyed talking to these people. So we talked about all kinds of stuff, but dude, the view of this guy's backyard, I'm gonna put it as the thumbnail for this video. The view of this guy's backyard is, I am probably my own worst enemy because I should not be keeping maps open while I am recording videos in the car and making my phone overheat. So I'm gonna take the blame on that one, but getting back, circling back, weaving back to what we were talking about. All right, dude, it just stopped recording again. This is amazing. This cell phone is just beautiful. Probably doesn't help that I have Google Maps open and I'm charging it at the moment. But this guy's backyard of his house is just beautiful, dude. It's got like a creek and like a tree and multiple trees, which look really nice. A tree fell on his house, by the way, which was not cool. But yeah, I was scaling through his attic like a monkey. And it was pretty fun. Beautiful house. I got to sketch the interior because he needed some work done in there because the tree falls on the house and it's a ripple effect. It causes some of the drywall to crack on the inside. And so there was damage on the inside from the fallen debris. And I don't know, they had like this old guy there who was just walking around like he kind of looked like Obi-Wan from the original trilogy, but he wasn't wearing the robe or anything like that, and he had sunglasses on, so not really. But he was like a lawyer speaking for them. Not all the time, but like they were Romanian, and so he knows all the English jargon, and so he was there to help them out. He's just a neighbor, a nice guy. He was a really nice guy, nice lawyer. But man, yeah, today was a cool day. All the houses that I saw were really nice houses, whether they were on the shore, on the coastline, if that's how you say it. I don't know if living on a lake is considered living on the coast or not, or if there's a different term for that, but I'm gonna say coastline. And it was really nice. So I had a good day thus far, and I'm gonna be heading back to my RV right now to write up these estimates, fix up the ones from yesterday, try and see what this guy is asking about when he is pushing back on my estimates. And we are gonna knock these claims down. Knock these claims down, find something to listen to in the meantime, you know. Enjoy the nice weather, because the weather is really nice right now. This is what I don't like about the Midwest though, is like in the morning it was like 30 degrees and now it's in its like 60s or 60s. And dude, are you kidding me? Now it's in its 60s and I have to take off my layers. It's too hot. I even had to remove my hat from my ears because I'm burning up here. And, you know, gotta make do with what you got. You gotta figure it out. All in all, like I've been saying, I've been in really nice areas. Like, I didn't even think these types of areas existed in Michigan. Like, it's nice. It's nice up here. I'm not even gonna lie. Hold on, give me 1 second. It's really nice. It's really enjoyable. I would come back here. I was even thinking of buying like a cabin up here or something like that. Like up in the woods, get some 30, 40 acres. Put some nails on the outside of the front door so no bears. I don't know if bears live up in Michigan. Whatever creature of the night, whatever cryptid might try to, you know, the skinwalkers try to break into my house and pretend like they've known me for years and that we've had a relationship for years, so that they could feed on me, like that one Rick and Morty episode. Now, I don't like Rick and Morty. I think it's a, you know, pretty homosexual show, but you know, we don't want any funny business like that one episode where they had to kill all the parasites in the house who were just spawning in out of nowhere. And then Beth shot Mr. Poopy Butthole, which was not cool. I say it's a bad show, but you know, I watched it when it first came out. But who didn't watch it when it first came out? Everyone. It was so much hype behind it. You know, when they got rid of the freaking guy for false allegations, that made it even worse, because they get some, you know, other person to do the voices, and it's just not the same. You could tell. It's like, imagine the voice actor for Finn in Adventure Time gets replaced by another guy. You could tell the difference. You could tell the difference. It's like what they did in freaking Better Call Saul, dude. They had a really cool guy be the guy who spots Saul, who spots Jimmy when he escapes with the disappearer and is in Nebraska. Okay, if you didn't watch Better Call Saul, I don't care. But when he escapes, and the guy comes up to him and he's like, say it. He's like, Better call Saul. Better call Saul. They replaced that guy with another guy, and it's like, that show was a home run through and through, but that one little change, you know, the show still ended off really good, and that guy did an okay job, but like, you can't just do, it's rough, but you can't just do that kind of stuff. What are you gonna do? You gonna cancel the show? No. But imagine they changed Mike out in Breaking Bad for some goober. You know, that would have completely screwed everything up, because Mike is probably one of my favorite characters in that series, but he is like the guy for that role. Walter. Pull your pants up, Walter. Yeah, Mike is really good in that show. All the actors are really good in that show, man. Look at me, Hector. Look at me. Gus Fring. But man, I will say, dude, I watch videos on people like analyzing this guy. The actor, I think it's Tony Dalton as Lalo, is like S tier acting and like S tier villainry. He was so good in that show, and like, man, it was a good ending for him too. You know, him, you know, dying like that. But he was S tier in that show. Like, he was nuts, man. He was like this crazy mastermind who almost outsmarted Gustavo Fring. Look at me, Hector. Look at me. I would probably put that in one of my top favorite shows of all time. I don't know, I like House. House MD is a good show. It's enjoyable. Although it is pretty much like the same thing over and over again, where it's like, oh, we have a patient who we don't know anything about what is causing his condition, what is causing his symptoms. And then House is like bouncing a ball or twisting his cane around, or is using the bathroom, and he has like this epiphany, and all of a sudden he knows all the problems and how to solve all the problems. And I don't know, he's just that guy, you know. It's a really good show, really captivating, because like in the first like season or two, it's like all of it is doctor stuff going on, and the last 2 minutes are like, let's expand on the lore of the relationships between these people. And so you kind of wait for that last 2 minutes of the show to realize, or to figure out like, oh, what's gonna happen next, what is being set up for the next episode. But like something like Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, it's like there are multiple stories happening throughout each episode, where it's like all of these weave into one beautiful tapestry, wherein you find the fate of each character being worked out and finalized into this awesome ending. And I thought they did a really cool thing where like Walter dies in Breaking Bad, Jesse is free in Alaska, and then Saul, Jimmy McGill, goes to jail. But he likes it in jail because everyone likes him in jail. So he's okay with it. It's pretty cool. I know they made another show. I watched one episode episode of it. It's kind of freaky. I don't know if I will continue watching it. With Rhea Seehorn, who is like this smoke show of a woman. She was in Better Call Saul. I don't know, I think it's called Pluribus. Might be worth a shot at watching it. That's enough about talking about shows. One more show. One more. Prison Break is good. Except they, did a little too much with adding that 6th season. They could have just ended it at the 5th season, I think, where we don't know what happens to Michael. But you gotta make that money, right? And people like, oh, what is a show that ended where the people were like, bruh, maybe The Sopranos, which I have not watched fully yet, but I have seen the ending, and people were like, bruh, why did it end that way? Well, where like the show like mind F's you and leaves you thinking, oh no, what happened? And you get to like play with it a little bit. That's how they ended Prison Break. And it's like, you gotta be okay with that ending. You gotta be okay with not knowing what happens. But they were like, nah, let's bring the show back and sorry, I gotta make this exit. Let's bring the show back and do a little cash grab. Gotta get that cash, which is understandable. But it's like certain things like, what are you honking at, genius? It's like certain things where you're like able to play with stuff. Like Quentin Tarantino talked about this in like some of the interviews that he did for movies. I think like in Inglourious Bastards, the Brad Pitt's character, Lieutenant Aldo Rain, he has a thing around his neck, a rope burn around his neck from being hung, and you don't know why he has that, but you're supposed to play with that in your mind, and each person has a different movie leaving the theater, or after watching the movie, each person has a different movie in mind because they make up their own story of how that happened. Or the suitcase in Pulp Fiction, what is in that suitcase? I don't know. Did I look up what is in the suitcase after watching the movie for the first time? Yeah, but no one has an answer, and you're not going to get an answer, so what are you going to do about it? You got to figure it out. You got to make your own movie. But man, when I watched Pulp Fiction, that movie was great. That movie was awesome. That movie was... Are you gonna let me through, dog? Thank you. That movie was like next level. Like when... I don't know, dude. When they got to the freaking GIMP scene, I was a little... I was a little turned off, let's say that, when they released that, when they put that scene in the movie, when that scene was in the movie, yeah, to say the least. But that was a really freaking good movie. I love those movies so much. I think the first Tarantino movie I watched was Django, and then I was like, I gotta watch every other movie from now on. I haven't finished Kill Bill. I'm still working through that. It's kind of like it's more of a slow burn. but it's probably worth it, you know. That freaking bar scene in am I going the right way? I hope I'm going the right way. That bar scene in Inglourious Bastards was like 20 something minutes long, and it was all worth it in the end. You know, where the lieutenant gives himself away doing this instead of this. Trailgeza. And he gives himself up, goes out speaking the kings with some scotch, sucking down his last drink of scotch. Yeah, it's a really, 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 really good movie. Like Hans Landa in that movie, or even in the beginning, right, where he is interrogating the French farmer, and he, at the end of his, dude, what is this guy blasting in his car? Oh, he's got a Mandalorian thing on his car. Okay, he gets a pass. What was I saying? He pulls out his big pipe at the end, and he's like, "You're sheltering enemies of the state under your floorboards, aren't you?" And the French farmer is like, "Yes." And then he just blasts the Jewish family living under the floorboards. It's a really, really good scene. There's so many good scenes in that movie. Gorlami. Buongiorno. So many good scenes in that movie that are just so memorable. Or when he's eating the strudel, dude, that makes me want to eat strudel so bad. I just want to go to Germany so I can eat strudel. And pretend I'm Hans Landa. I don't think I'd be well received if I showed up in Germany wearing an SS uniform, trying to eat strudel just for the so I could feel like Hans Landa. I don't think I'd be politely received, to say the least. All that to say, Quentin Tarantino makes really good movies. Man, what the? Makes really good movies, really enjoyable. Really fun. And all of them are like due for a rewatch after watching them, because there's just so many things in there that you could catch. Maybe I might watch a movie tonight. Might watch a am I going to Canada right now? What is going on? Hold on. I might need to if I'm gonna end up doing this for any long period of time, I'm gonna just need to get a camera or something, dude. Because this phone can't hold jack. It keeps turning off on me. It keeps saying storage is full. I don't even have that many pictures on my phone, dude. I have 20 gigabytes of pictures, and it's saying that most of the gigabytes of my storage are coming from pictures. What is going on, dog? Getting back, circling back. I think we were talking about Tarantino movies and how good they are. Okay, whatever, dude. I mean, everything is falling apart right now. I can't record videos. My cigarettes are running out of light. Why am I complaining? You know, the sun's out. It's it's almost summer. Why am I complaining, dude? I got a white Monster, to fuel me. I wish I could just open up like a toy and put that white Monster. Pause. I was gonna say put that white Monster. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not even gonna go there. Wow, that was close. Anyways, I don't know. I might rewatch a Quentin Tarantino movie. I might work through Kill Bill. Yeah. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a really, really, really good movie. Wait. Okay, yeah. Rick Dalton. I was gonna say, when I mentioned the guy from Better Call Saul, did I say Rick Dalton or Tony Dalton? Because if I said Rick Dalton, I was talking about Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But that was a really good movie. Hey, I know you. You're from Spawn Ranch. I remember your pretty little face. And I remember your red hair. And what was your name again? Tex? No. Rex? Shoot him, Tex! Oh man, I missed the line. I'm disappointed with myself. What was your name? Rex? No, something stupider than that. Something dumber than that. Shoot him, Tex! Tex! Then he calls the dog, and the dog rips the gun out of his hand, and he throws the freaking can of beans at that beautiful girl, that beautiful actress, whatever her name is. I don't know, but she played like that Russian stripper in a movie or something. I didn't watch that movie. I just know she played that character in the movie. But it's like, you know, she is beautiful, but why are you doing that kind of stuff? You don't got to be doing that kind of stuff. You can be a, you know, beautiful girl who doesn't need to do that kind of stuff. I don't even remember her name. She's like a pretty Jewish girl. I think. Gets lit on fire by Rick Dalton, who hates hippies. Yeah, those are some good movies. I think I'm like still 30 minutes away from where I'm going, where my destination is, where home is at the moment. And so I've got plenty of time to spare to talk about all kinds of stuff, but I might end up running out of brain power doing so. Yeah, my water isn't working in my RV. I know I talked about that earlier today, so I gotta figure out what to do about that. But luckily enough, the place that I'm staying at has showers, so I can just shower there and wash myself up, clean myself up of my filth. You can never really wash away the filth within. There's only one person who can do that for you. You just gotta put your faith in them. I don't see no coronavirus, but I believe it's there. I can't see God, but I believe him. That's some Phil Robertson wisdom for you. If you ever want to have a really cool video to watch, you just have to watch Phil Robertson. You just have to watch Phil Robertson give a talk about the coronavirus, and it's just really cool. It's a video of him riding on his boat, and he's talking about the gospel and the coronavirus, and he's like, I don't care if I'm a half about it with the redneck, but if you believe in Jesus, you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff, because even if something crazy like that happens, your time is not your own, so you can trust in fact that in God's providence, he'll lead you through whatever, or he'll take you out from whatever. Like, I was just listening to a sermon today about the prodigal son by Charles Spurgeon, and Charles Spurgeon is like, he's called the Prince of Preachers. He was a preacher in London. And he was talking about how this one guy who lived a life of licentiousness became a Christian, and he fell on his knees one night and asked God to take him in case he falls into no longer being convicted of his sin again. And right there, he died. So, maybe God was like, yeah, I don't trust you to not do that again. So I'm gonna take you home real quick to save you from any further disaster. But I mean, that's just the whole story of God's people throughout history. I mean, I don't know, there was like a time where even I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, a Christian should live like this. He should be pious, he should be striving to, and obviously you should be striving to be living according to God's commandments and, not falling into sin. But that's just not possible, because we are all sinful creatures, and we will all continually fall into sin and fall short of God's commandments for us. Even when you are a Christian, even when you have his Holy Spirit, you still have your sin nature. So your flesh is, I think Paul says that the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. I think he says that. I think that's the phrase that he uses. But he talks about, even the Apostle Paul, who is like one of the greatest apostle, said that he struggled with sin. And that's just the history of God's people throughout history. I mean, Adam, the first man created, who saw God face to face and walked with God, he sinned against God. And Adam, David, he murdered someone because he didn't want him finding out that he slept with his wife. Abraham, not trusting in God and telling Abimelech, the king of Egypt, that his wife is really his sister. Like, all these people, like Abraham was ready to sacrifice his son for God, knowing that, in the New Testament it says, knowing that God would raise his son from the dead. So he did have faith, and he had faith that was that big. But even in small things, he gave into sin. He gave into doubt and fell into sin. I mean, like, all of us are sinful and fall short of God's glory, fall short of his grace, as Scripture says. But God, even look at the instance of Adam. God, when Adam sinned and he hid, God did not come about thundering through the garden looking for Adam. He says something along the lines of, Adam, where are you? And I'm sure he said that in the most soft and gentle tone that he could have, because he's gracious and he cares for his creation. He cares for his people. Like, when you see God talk to people in the Old Testament, like when you look at Elijah, the prophet Elijah, it says that a whirlwind came by and he did not hear the voice of God in the whirlwind. And then something else happened. I think like a thunderstorm or something happened, and he did not hear God's voice in the thunderstorm. But when everything was still and there was a gentle breeze, that's when he heard God's voice. God is, and that's after Elijah just won against the prophets of Baal and went to hide away because he was scared of Queen Jezebel and King Ahab trying to kill him. And he got to the point where he wanted to die, where Elijah was like, I just want to die. But God was like, no, here I am in the still breeze. Well, I don't know, still breeze, in the calm breeze of the day, and I will speak to you. And God brought him crows that brought him food, I think crows or some kind of bird, who brought Elijah food to sustain him and to restore him. So, we think, and trust me, I kind of went through this last year. I had a really bad last year. Like really bad last year. Like really, really, really bad last year. And I was not looking to God to help me through it. Because, yeah, I knew that, alright, whatever, done. I knew that God says in Scripture that temptations will come, that hardships will come. But I didn't think hardships like that were going to come. And so I wasn't prepared. I didn't trust in God. But even when you do stuff like that, you have to realize that God understands our frame, even more so because of the fact that God became a man and lived the life that you and I live, yet without sin. He knew pain, he knew disappointment, he knew people were after him, he knew people didn't care for him, he knew people didn't believe him, even his own family didn't believe him at one point, his brothers didn't believe him. So he knows what we have to go through. And he didn't even have to. Okay, I don't know if I want to say that. I don't know if I want to say he didn't have to become a man. Because in his perfect will, he chose to do that. But like, what I mean when I say he didn't have to become man is like he didn't have to even do that to be able to feel what we feel, to understand what we are feeling, because he is the infinite God. He is the one who knows all things. So he knows how we feel and what causes our struggles, and how we are so often to look within ourselves and think that we could fix our own problems, where when you, in reality, when you do look into yourself, you collapse, you combust, you become a black hole, you become a dying star, you literally descend into chaos. And because there's nothing there, there's nothing inside of you except a black and disgusting heart wherein you will lose yourself. You have to look outside of yourself in order to find any solace in this life, find any peace in this life, because if you look inside yourself, you will see a war, and you will want to destroy yourself, because that is your nature. Your nature is, I want to run myself in the ground doing those things which are most pleasurable to me, which will end up killing me, pretty much. And that's not a good feeling. It might be for a period of time, or it might be if you don't have a conscience. But, man, when you fall into something like that, you get to see who you really are, because you really don't know who you are or what you could do. But when you fall into something like that and you collapse into yourself, you will destroy yourself. And when you think you've destroyed yourself, you will start to look to destroy other people, because you think for some reason that you have power over other people, which you don't. That is the craziest thing you could think, is that you have power over other people, that you have authority over other people, but you don't, because you are just a creature, you are just a grasshopper. You are just a grasshopper. And you can't even people might disagree with me on that, but you're just wrong. You can't give in to the flesh, and you will. We all do. It's fun for a time, you know. It's fun for a time, but like really it's not, because then you realize the damage that you do and the people that you hurt, and it's horrible because you can't take that stuff back. You can't, oh man, yeah, you can't take that stuff back. You can't take back the damage that you've done to other people. You can't redeem yourself from that. But you got to make amends. You know, if you're a right-thinking person, if you're not like this egomaniac who thinks I have done no wrong to anybody, you could make amends, but, you know, wounds heal but leave scars. And so, you gotta deal with that. You gotta deal with those wounds. I am going to be pulling up to my place in the next couple minutes here, and I don't want to go too long because I don't want these videos to be like 3 hours long. I'm sure I could talk for 3 hours, but I don't want to. So I'm going to pick up maybe a little later in the day once I'm done with the rest of my work. I don't know, or this might be the last video. Otherwise,